tap that purity, oh good lord. No, I'm not gonna say that. How do I put it? What is up, all you lovely people? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Phoenix with a brand new video for you guys. Low-key feel like I'm making a Yappa video with this setup. What's up everyone, it's Phoenix and welcome to today's not TOTD. So a lot has happened since my last video. Not really, I just got a new phone case. Check out my new case, people. Do that YouTube beauty vlogger thing. Finally got a new case after about like 2.5 years and I'm in love with it. It's so pretty. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that my phone actually has a decent case. So about a month ago, Yappa238 and I did a live stream in which you guys sent in anonymous questions via the Saraha, however you pronounce it, website and discussed those topics on that live. And one of the questions that was brought up ensued a pretty long discussion, and I figured it would actually be a really good video topic to cover. Now before we get into the video, I have to plug the live stream, because the live stream is an awesome community where young people come together every Thursday night, 8 p.m. on my Instagram at IAmPhoenixRising and fellowship with one another, talking about God, about living for God in today's crazy society, and we talk about some pretty deep and real stuff. So if you guys want to be a part of that, pause the video, pick up your phone, bonus if it has a really cute case, pull up Instagram, pull up IAmPhoenixRising and hit that follow button so you can join the live stream fam and get notifications when we have our live stream every Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If any of you guys from the live stream fam are watching, leave a comment below because I would like to see who comes from the live stream fam. And yes, we do talk about relationship, boy and girl stuff on the live streams quite frequently, actually, even though I've never been in a relationship. And if you guys ever want to submit to me questions anonymously, go to saraha.phoenixrising.com. And while you guys are going and hitting that follow button on Instagram or hitting the subscribe button down below, I'm going to pull up this Saraha question and we'll get into the video. Okay, I'm going through the questions right now. Some of these questions, some of them are outright hilarious. Oh my gosh. Found it. Why are worldly men or women attracted to apostolic men or women? And when we tell them our beliefs, why doesn't that scare them away? LOL. LOL. Okay, so we talked about this pretty in depth on the live. Another reason why you guys want to join the live stream fam so you're not missing out on anything. Okay, here's the thing. There are about 2, maybe 3 main reasons why a worldly guy or girl would be attracted to an apostolic boy or girl. Number 1, they see the Holy Ghost in you and are attracted to the holiness and wholesomeness that comes with living for God and being filled with the Holy Ghost. So if someone is missing something significant in their life, such as God and His Spirit, the Holy Ghost, and they can see the evidence of life with the Holy Ghost, with the answer that they've been looking for, the answer that can save their souls on you, they are going to be drawn to the Holy Ghost shining through you because their soul is yearning for that. Somewhere deep down inside of them is that emptiness from the disconnect of mankind and God when sin entered into the world. And there is something innate in all of us to fill that void. F-I-L-L, not feel the void, but like fill the void. And if you are exemplifying the Holy Ghost and letting the Holy Ghost shine through you, people are going to see that and they're going to be drawn to that because that is what they're missing in their life. So that's probability number 1. The person is missing something in their life, you have what they're missing, and so they're drawn to you. Now for possibility number 2, which honestly is very, very, very common.
AKA this is it like 85% of the time.
Pretty much it's possibility number 1, except the person isn't looking to change. So let's say you as an apostolic young person come across someone who is not saved and you guys form an acquaintanceship, whether it's at work, school, you guys go to the same coffee shop. More often than not, if that person is attracted to you, it might not really be a spiritual thing. If you are a girl and there's a guy that you know who's not in church and he's showing interest in you, he's showing attraction to you, honey, I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not really into you. I know this might bruise your ego a little bit. Here's the thing. A lot of times someone in the world, when they see you and they see how you are untouched by the world, they'll be drawn to that. But oftentimes they won't be drawn to that because they necessarily want to completely give up everything in their life to go follow Christ and have what you have, but because they want that. So this might get a little PG-13, but it's real and it's true, you know? And I'm gonna be talking from the perspective of a girl, so this applies both ways. Worldly guys, worldly girls, saved guys, saved girls. I personally know of stories where a worldly guy will be drawn to a saved girl because she is untouched. She most likely is a virgin and hasn't fooled around with a ton of guys, and believe it or not, majority of guys like that. That's a rarity in today's society where it's all about free love and people are messing around with all kinds of people over the course of years because they're starting really young now, and it's actually considered crazy not to sleep with your boyfriend or girlfriend. So with everyone sleeping around, with everyone being tainted by each other, when you come across someone who has not been tainted in a physical way, that has that holiness and purity on them, people are going to be drawn to that, and unfortunately, a lot of them are going to be drawn to that so that they can tap into that purity, but tap that. Oh, good Lord. No, I'm not going to say that. How do I put it? Participate in some of that purity in pure ways. I mean, honestly, ask yourself, would you rather get a brand new car for your birthday, or would you rather get the same model that was used? On them, it's their flesh wanting to fulfill its own desires. And in the spiritual sense, oftentimes it can be the devil who is using someone to try to trip you up as a young person living for God.
LOL, but let's be real. Majority of the time it's just your carnal flesh. The devil ain't to blame for everything. #real talk.
The Bible talks about this in Proverbs, where it's the harlot that seeks after the precious life. And it's not just females hunting out males. It's that adulterous, fornicative spirit that is seeking out the precious, pure life. Which, as a person living for God, is you. Trust me, honeys. To all my girls out there, he's not looking to turn his life completely around just so that he can be with you. If a guy is showing interest in you and he's out in the world, honey, it's not because you look really cute in your Sunday's best, okay? Or because you really know how to throw down that hair when you are worshiping God at the altar. And not because he thinks your ugly cry face in the spirit is such a beautiful thing. I feel like if I don't give a disclaimer, people are going to be in the comments like, oh my gosh, you're generalizing people, you're generalizing males, you're generalizing females, not all unsaved people are like this. So I'm just gonna give the disclaimer that this is a generalization, a very accurate generalization, but for all those people who are just jumping and waiting for me to say something that you can just in the comments about, there's your disclaimer. I see you people, and this is me remaining unaffected. No, not every single individual who's not saved, who shows interest in you, is looking for that one thing, but the odds are not in your favor, just to keep it real. And the thing is, deep down you know that you have to look at society, look at the current state of our world and the way people think and the mindsets of people. No one is interested in staying committed to their relationships. And sweetie, if he's in the world where their mindset is free love for all, my truth is my truth, you can't tell me what to do. I have my own morals. You cannot dictate to me what is right and what is wrong, because my right and my wrong is different from your right and your wrong. Coming from a world like that, he's not about to lock himself oh good Lord, I can't say that. Trust me, he's not about to lock himself, all of himself down to be in any sort of committed relationship. In today's world, a guy is not going to commit himself to you, especially without no upfront physical guarantee of your relationship, if you get what I mean. If it's not Jesus he's truly interested in and not you. Don't try to delude yourself into thinking that he's actually going to live for God just because he has feelings for you. If he even truly does have real feelings for you and not just real physical feelings for you, at the end of the day, no one is going to truly live for God for someone else. It's going to fall apart in the end. So don't think that
I'm just going to flirt to convert.
and the only one that you'll be converting by your flirting is your own self, and it won't be for a close relationship with God. It might be a close relationship with that guy, but definitely not towards God. And you guys may be thinking, but Phoenix, I'm pretty sure that he really does like me. Like, it's not just a physical thing. Like, I think because he finds me different from other girls and because I am untouched and he really wants that because he's such a sweet guy and he really wants a very stable life and a stable, committed relationship. And I think that if I can introduce him to God, he can get an even more stable and committed relationship with God, and then with me, it's like a double bonus win-win. Honey, just shh. He may very well actually be wanting to change his life and to get into a committed relationship. I mean, who in the end doesn't want someone to be faithful to them? They may not want to be faithful to someone, but they definitely want someone to be faithful to them. But he needs to fall in love with Jesus first, get a relationship, a committed relationship with Jesus first, before either of you even think about your so-called attraction to each other or you having a relationship. But oftentimes it doesn't even get that far because the guy's not looking to go to church and give his life to God. Majority of times he's looking at you as just another individual that his flesh is feeling attracted to and that he can potentially fulfill his physical desires with. You don't want to delude yourself into thinking that you are the special case, because 9.5 times out of 10 times you are not the special case. And this applies in the church too, because there are some very worldly guys within the church who are playing that same game. Just because someone's in the church, you have to know them by their fruits and not just give yourself over to them emotionally and especially obviously physically because you think that you will draw them closer to God. Back when I was in high school, I was pretty much everyone's counselor. I would become friends with people who were kind of like on the edge, like weren't fully accepted or, you know, on that social outskirts. And there's this one girl, we shall call her Cheryl, who was honestly the sweetest thing. She recently got into church and her parents were in church, so she was coming alone with her sister, and she was young, she was in high school around the same age as me. Well, one of the popular guys within the church, who pretty much flirted with everyone, started turning his attentions over to her. Now Cheryl was rather shy and a lot more reserved than a lot of the other girls. And one day we were sitting together after church and she just started opening up to me about this guy because she had started liking him because apparently he was a likable person. So I was sitting next to Cheryl and she's just talking about this guy, and then she tells me, you know, I think he might like me. And my reaction was,
oh no.
and I had to break it to her that this guy was notoriously a flirt and got a kick out of flirting with girls and them flirting back with him, and that he might not actually like her, but more so just like interacting with her in the flirtatious kind of manner. I was really trying to be kind, like I didn't want to just like bam break it to her, but you know, I was kind of nice and sugar coating with my words. But oh no, that couldn't be the case, because according to Cheryl, because she was different from other girls, like she wasn't flirting with him, she was more reserved and she didn't like give off the vibe that she liked him. She feels that he actually might like her because he finds her different. And I kind of just sat there like, right. To Cheryl's credit, she was new in church. She seemed like she didn't have that much interaction with guys, that much experience with guys. Not that I had that much interaction or experience with guys, but I did know this guy. We went to the same church. And so I tried to help her out by, you know, hinting that maybe he was just flirting with her, but she was pretty convinced in her ideas, so I just ended up sitting there and just nodding my head, because what else was I gonna say? I already tried. Later on down the line, turns out that, what do you know, he actually didn't like her and he continued to flirt with other new girls who came into the church, unfortunately. And though that was dealing with a church guy, how much more so would that apply to a guy who's out in the world, where the idea of flirting is not a bad thing. If anything, it's encouraged. It's encouraged to be a player. It's encouraged to flirt with this girl, see if that kicks off. Flirt with this girl, see if that kicks off. Flirt with you, see if that kicks off. But the truth of the matter was that he wasn't really into her. Just like a guy who is showing interest in you is not really into you. You have to be real and straight with yourself. And sometimes you just gotta admit that you enjoy and are entertained by the fact that this person is showing interest in you. And I mean, yeah, it can be flattering to have a guy be interested in you. I mean, kind of depends on the guy. But you cannot let those feel-good, pick-me-up feelings delude you into thinking that, oh, this person actually cares about me in that kind of sense, to where now you're starting to question, why is it that this worldly guy is interested in me? Maybe he wants to know more about me and what I believe, actually likes me deep down, and maybe I can witness to him, and maybe we can have like a beautiful forever after. Maybe I can be the one who witnesses to him and gets him into church, and you never know, something can spark from that. Like I said before, the chances of that happening are so low, you shouldn't even risk it. You also have to think that this guy has the entire world pretty much at his fingertips. No conviction about not jumping on all the opportunities in front of him. And with girls who are showing it off and freely giving it up, the chances of him actually giving all of that up for you are pretty much non-existent. So how do you combat this? Don't entertain the idea. Don't entertain the fantasy of this guy liking you, of this guy being attracted to you, and how it makes you feel good inside, and how it could possibly be used as a tool to lead him to God. The Bible lays out how to witness to people, which is through miracle signs and wonders done in his name and teaching the gospel to the world, not through flirt to convert, because that ain't gonna work, honey. Cast down those imaginations that will trip you up. Don't entertain it, and don't entertain him. You know deep down whether or not you're flirting back with this person. Also, it's okay to draw lines. It's okay to be upfront and bold about your lines that you've drawn in the sand, and just let the person know, hey, do not cross these lines. Call them out on it. Call out the lines you've drawn and let them know, these are my lines, please don't cross them. He'll have vastly more respect for you because you stood your ground in what you believed. If you are entertaining his flirtations with you, trust me, he's going to know. A guy out in the world is going to have a lot more experience in the flirting game, in the relationship game than you. He's gonna be able to pick up on body language, on vibes, on the signals that you're giving him, and he's gonna know, hey, this chick is digging me, she's flirting with me, she's giving me an open door. And if you're declaring yourself as someone who is living for God, he's going to lose respect for you and for your God, because he knows that you're supposed to have certain standards and you're not upholding those standards. You're giving in to that temptation of the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life, which encapsulates all of this because it's dealing with lust and it's dealing with your own pride. And you're actually allowing yourself to be played by this guy. Don't let yourself be played, girl. You are worth so much more than that. If you are living for God, doing your best to stand firm for God, you deserve the person that God has for you. And that worldly guy is not that person, I guarantee you. So girl, don't be played. And the best way you can be a witness to him is by being bold about what you believe in, standing firm for your values and your morals, and shamelessly living for God and letting yourself being a living epistle known and read of all men. So girl, he may not really be into you, but God is. He has the one for you, and he knows you're worth so much more than what you'd get by giving into those temptations. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this real talk for the week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love y'all. Bye. Girl, he ain't that into you. No. Well, what you gonna do? Anyway. Okay. Oh. Okay. Wait. I don't know what I'm doing. My arms are so close. Wrong way. Okay. Okay, yeah, not gonna work. You guys ready for a stand-up video? I'm not gonna promise it's gonna be funny. Saraha. 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 Saraha ha ha ha. Some people leave some really stupid comments. Guy or girl would be attracted to an apostolic girl, boy or girl. But honey, he needs to fall in love with Jesus first, get a relationship, but honey, he need no conviction about not jumping at the opportunity of all these girls before him. Okay. If a guy is flirting with you and you've chosen within yourself if a guy, especially a worldly guy, is flirting with you, you're giving in to you're giving in to that temptation.